Yo guys, what's up? Kind of like Bruce rates, but Bruce doesn't rate, but he's not rating at the same time. This is possibly one of the most creative skiers out there on the internet. On skis right now, I'm eating KD, and that's not, it's not as creative, but we're eating KD, and we're gonna go through this. Before you guys come at me with all this stuff like, yo, what about Alex Hackle? What about Matej? What about, the other ones? There's tons of other ones. There's tons of other really creative skiers. There's tons of really badass skiers out there right now. Obviously, you got the Cal Carsons, you got the Jake Meadows, you got none other than Mangus himself. Guys, there's tons of creative skiers out there. Don't come up with me this like, oh my god, you forgot this guy. What about him? He's totally more creative. I just want to come out and give this dude his dues because he's a super creative skier and he's a really, really rad dude. And, yeah, so checking in right now. You guys can guess. Leave a comment down below right now who you think this skier is. I guarantee you're not going to guess it. But if you did, I'll give you a noodle. Yet a noodle. Before we dive into this one, if you haven't already, like that video, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, if you watch me ski, come watch me ski. If you want to watch me talk about things like this, come watch me talk about things like this. This skier's name is none other than Reagan Wallis. You may or may not have heard of him, but the kid has got it. We're quickly just going to dive into IG, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Obviously, dude has mad creative skills. First edit on the list, new combo packs. Let's check it out. Okay, so before we even move on, the dude did a Japan grab onto a rail, and then a back 3 swap, and then a Japan grab pretzel to forward. Obviously, the wall ride land back 4 was really, really wicked, but dude, like, I would never have thought of grabbing Japan onto a rail, back 3 up, land, then grab Japan, pretzel to forward. Like, that's the kind of stuff that makes a creative skier, is coming up with ideas that most people don't think of. For me, I would have looked at that, like, down flat, down tube, and I would be like, I'm going to do a 2-on front 3 swap, or I'm going to do a 2-on switch up. I would have never incorporated grabs. I would have never incorporated thinking like that. I think this is just a really cool thing. And the dude obviously is super, super talented. So it's really cool to see that kind of like mix of like talent meets like mad creativity. Just posted this, I think today. We'll give it a little check. Alright, so not only did he grind the side of the rail while lying on his side, basically like Tokyo body slid into the side of the rail and just hopped off, and then went and was like, I'm just gonna carve over to the next rail, hops on, front 4 off. Again, that's the creative side of things that like a lot of skiers like myself, dude, would never have thought of. If you look at that video closely, the rail that he slid into, that tube, that rail is a flat tube to down rail. So most people look at that feature like, oh, sick, I'm gonna do back 3 swap onto it. Some kind of spin in and then some kind of spin out of this really, really sick flat down setup. Like, that's a really sick feature by itself. Man, there's a lot of really cool combinations I can put together. And this guy looks at it, he's like, yeah, that's sick, I can do all these combinations, but I'm just going to slide the side of it. And that's kind of something that you don't see every day. We're going to quickly run through a couple more IG clips here because he's got some absolute bangers. And they just released a new street part from last season. So we're going to watch that, kind of go through it, and obviously talk about that as well. Because the man's got it and it needs a little bit of light, so. Alright, so right off the bat, there's another one. I mean, obviously the back swap to switch with the Japan grab was like mind-blowing. But then this man just goes and ones up it by doing 180 in, landing 50-50 on the edge of the rail because it's got a little drop there, grabbing safety the whole time. And then not only does he grab safety the whole time and do something like a continuing 1 out or anything like that, not even a pretz 1. He does a pretz 3 out of it. And that's something that, like, well, obviously nobody's ever done that trick before. Let's see what else we got here quickly.
Okay, she gets with me though, but if I my energy up, every time it's feeling me, summer only got the memories of us, and now we in the street though, we making enemies up. I mean, at times we can buzz. Get on with it, take good things, I get scattered. Get on with it, take good things, I get scattered.
Alright, so clearly the guy's got skills in the jumps too. Obviously, it seems like he enjoys a little more rails as well. But, dude, here's the back swap, back 4 like it was nothing. He did butter switch 3 out of it. So, obviously, fundamentals are there. I mean, when you come down to it, but it's like approaching skiing with that creative side that I think is really just wicked to see. Okay, so yeah, the fundamentals are definitely there.
About the mind, brush the dirt up off, man. Going hard, hit up when it hurts, kill them soul play. Bone stretch, trying to fit my mind to the soul flash, but I'm in this shit, full flash, short backlash, coming for your neck, no stress, bro. Running this shit, full flash.
So this edit goes pretty hard. Obviously, the underflip mute or cork 5 mute right here that I'm clicking on at this very moment is badass.
Brush the dirt up off, man. Going hard,
And then this right here does like a backward X slide or X grind, I guess. Oh, so super gnarly. And not just to forward, he also did it to front 2 out, which is, you know, adds a little bit of sauce to it. This one here is like, again, obviously guys got skills in jumps, but also the creativity leaks over to the jumps. Like, this is not a grab combo I would have thought of, especially on this feature in this access slash trick. And it's done perfectly. Like, couldn't do it better. Truck to lead dub Japan is not like something that you see every day, especially like that. Not only does he 1-foot slide this, he hops 2 different times, switching up the feet he's sliding on, and then there's the 3 out. It's just really sick to see. All right, on to a street edit. Obviously, there's more in here. Go check him out on IG at Reagan Wallis. It's down below. Guy absolutely kills it. Street part right here, I got pulled up already. I haven't really watched this yet, so this is going to be kind of nice to like watch it through with you guys for the first part. And it's short. It's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so perfect. Quick and saucy, just like that. Let's see what he's got.
3, 2, 1.
Dropping in. Of course. Alright, so straight off the bat, I'm going to pause this quickly, but straight off the bat, the dude just comes out with the switch front flip onto a roof with switch nose butter 1 out, which is just, again, not something you see every day. Like, I would have looked at that feature and I would not have been like, yeah, this is the trick I'm going to choose for this feature. Let's see what else he's got in store for us. Backslide, shifty back to switch, super dope, super clean. Very stylish as always, which is nice to see. Backslide, back swap. That feature is actually really gnarly because if you miss that back swap, you land like one ski in one of the outside ones, like you get really hurt on that. So that was super dope. Again with the Japan grabs off the roof, that was dope as well. Big fan of that. Super challenging rail right there, especially the speed into it. That right there is not an easy rail to do the whole way through, especially with how close you are to the other features. I bet he fell off into the inside of that rail more than a couple times and got hurt. Switch lip on. Love to see that. Alright, so that rail is that's not an easy rail to make to the end. Like that, I don't know how many tries it took him because it's him, but that would have taken me so many tries to make to the end of that thing. So kudos to him. And doing a switch lip back too is also, you know, not only like one for tall T Dan, but that's a wicked trick on that feature as well. Again, getting creative with the feature selection. Also the tricks on it. That back swap pop off early was sick. Hey, there you go. That was sick. And obviously you see tricks like this from other really good creative skiers out there. I'm sure you've seen them in like stuff like X Games, like Real Street. But that nose block on the top of that stair set back onto the rail to switch that's a really sick trick, and it's not an easy one to do. I guarantee you that. Damn. Man's just lighting this rail up with swap combos. And I mean, again, for somebody who's out here, like, this guy's not doing it with a production company, he's not doing it with a big crew. It's probably just him and a couple of homies, like, yo, do you want to go hit this local, like, feature? And the fact that they're able to put something like this, or he's able to put something like this together, is really, really cool to see. If you guys follow him on Instagram this year, I'm sure he's gonna blow your mind with a bunch of crazy rail tricks. But moving into the future, man, I'm so excited to see this guy put out, like, more edits and more, like, maybe, like, obviously Instagram clips and stuff like that. Content is going that way. But putting out a bunch of, like, 2-minute edits just from, like, parks he goes to, just being creative on features and setups would be so sick to see. And moving forward, I think that's going to be something that we do see from him. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Editing it made me realize how many truly creative skiers there are out there. I want to hear what you guys think for who's the most creative skier out there. Let me know down below in the comments. Obviously, there's tons of great candidates, so I'm stoked to see what you guys come up with. But if you haven't already, like this video, sub to the channel. Helps me out a lot in the algorithm. And we're hitting 10K this month, baby. Let's go. Let's go.